How do you know if the things around you are moving? Let's try. Say yes if you think this object is moving and no if it is not moving.
3, 2, 1, go! Woo!
Horse running. Is it moving or not moving? Gun firing. Swimming. Ferris wheel. How about the calm sea? The sun. The clouds. And bacteria. If all of your answers are yes, you don't have to watch the entire video. Just kidding. Your answer is all correct. The forces in nature produce many different types of motion. Some may look like stationary, but they are actually moving. Now, in this lesson, we will become a detective and examine all the things that is in motion. We are all surrounded by moving things like the buses, the bicycles, the arrows, which are moving in a linear or straight line motion. There are also things which move in a curvilinear motion, whether a parabolic or projectile motion, just like when we throw a ball, wave motion, just like the light, and circular or elliptical, just like the satellite traveling around our planet Earth. But aside from merely looking at them, how do we know if the object is in motion?
What?
One of the signs which tells us that the object is moving is if the object moves relative to a reference point. Or simply saying, we are comparing the object from our basis maybe to something stationary or not moving, and this background or object we use for comparison is what we call as our point of reference or our frame of reference.
I find all this laughter to be highly illogical.
Now let's say that the car is traveling in a straight road from our reference point. Now we will take the distance traveled by the car through measuring. Now, in measuring, we use either the international system of units or the English system of units. But that will be another lesson for discussion. Now let's just use the common standard units for today. Now going back to the car, if the car traveled from our point of reference towards this direction until it stops. We may measure the distance it traveled, and it can be in kilometer, meter, or centimeter, but we have to take note that all of these units are for length, so they can all be used. And in using them, we have to remember that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, and 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So if the car traveled by 1,000 meter, meaning to say that it also traveled by 1 kilometer because 1,000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. Now we can also measure the distance by our measuring tools like the ruler, the tape measure, the meter sticks, and many others. But the tool will depend on the longer or the shorter the distance we are taking. So if you don't know how to use any measuring tool, here's a simple guide on how to use a ruler.
We can measure the length of objects using tools. This ruler is marked in centimeters. Each space on the ruler is 1 centimeter long. The numbers tell how many spaces there are between that point on the ruler and 0. For example, look at the 6. The 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away from 0. To measure an object, we find out how many centimeters long it is, or how many 1 centimeter spaces it covers.
We write 1 centimeter as 1 cm. The paperclip is about 1 centimeter wide. The ant is shorter than 1 centimeter. The jelly bean is longer than 1 centimeter.
Here's a pencil. If we line up one end of the pencil with 0, we can count how many spaces it covers from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the pencil is 7 centimeters long. Notice that the other end of the pencil lines up with the 7. So if you start with the object at 0, the shortcut to measuring is to see where the other end of the pencil lines up. It's at 7, so the pencil is 7 centimeters long. Could you still measure the length of a pencil with a broken ruler? Yes. Lining up with a 0 is useful, but it's not the only way to measure. Line up the pencil with a number on the broken ruler. Now the first end lines up with 3. The other end lines up with 10. But that doesn't mean it is 10 centimeters long, because the first couple centimeters of the ruler are missing. The pencil is still covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. So it is still 7 centimeters long. Notice that the two ends line up with 3 and 10. The difference between 10 and 3 is 7. 10 minus 3 equals 7. When the pencil lined up with 0 and 7, the difference between the ends was also 7. 7 minus 0 equals 7. So, one way to find the length of an object is to line it up with two numbers on a ruler, then find the difference between those two numbers. Let's look at one more example. Find the length of the key. One end of the key lines up with 6. The other lines up with 9. Use subtraction to find the length. 9 minus 6 equals 3. The key is 3 centimeters long. Now line the key up with 0 to check. When one end lines up with 0, the other end lines up with 3. 3 minus 0 equals 3. So the key is 3 centimeters long.
Now, do you have a ruler or any measuring tool there? Now try to get the measurement of these objects, then comment your answers so I would know if you can follow.
It's quiz time!
questions in not more than 10 seconds, then write your answer in a paper. After that, feel free to comment your scores. Are you ready? Let's go! 1. A place or object used for comparison to determine if something is in motion is called a blank. A. A position. B. Frame of reference. C. A constant. Or D. Velocity.
Time's up!
The answer is letter B. Frame of reference. Number 2. When an object's distance from one another is changing, there is a blank. A. It is in motion. B. It is speeding. C. It has high velocity. Or D. It is accelerating.
Time's up!
The answer is A. It is in motion. Number 3. What is distance? Is it A. The length between two places? B. The length between 2 points? C. The length between 2 areas? Or D. How far a person is from somewhere?
Time's up!
The answer is letter B. The length between 2 points. That's distance. Number 4. If an object travels in a straight line motion, how is it called? Letter A. Linear motion. Letter B. Curvilinear motion. Letter C. Wave motion. Or letter D. Circular motion.
Time's up!
The answer is letter A, linear motion. And here is the last question. Number 5. If a car runs from a tree to a building, what is our reference point? Letter A, the car. Letter B, the tree. Letter C, the building. Or letter D, the sun.
Time's up!
Correct answer is letter B, the tree. Way to go!
Thank you very much for moving and constantly staying updated with our lessons. And watch out for more fun and learning videos here in Teacher Danny's vlog. But it's time to say goodbye.